Hello and welcome to the premiere episode of Cope's Movienight, show of me just reviewing movies. Today's episode will be a Thai film called Khun Bunlue, or the Netflix name Lord Bunlue. This is the Netflix description of the film, with distinct boundaries between social classes in the Siamese Kingdom. A progressive officer lands in hilarious hijinks when he falls for a servant. This film stars a Thai comedian, Wongcharoen, or his real name, Wongcharoen, as the officer mentioned before. I think with this film that he has a so-called Chiang Rai mission. It's a joke in that there was a rumor that Mom bought a house in Chiang Rai for his mistress, which he told was untrue, but so people still mention it up many years later. Now, let's move on to our first section. What Cope thinks the story goes. A section where I give the summary of the story and point out jokes or things I like. In order, and what I mean is that I watch a film, right? And I just watch section, and tells the summary of that section. Not like watch the whole film in one go, then give the summary. So I might get some characters wrong. I found that out after the script was written. Now let's move on. The story starts with a scene at the city hall. Maybe not a city hall, but some kind of government building. It showed officers, I think, talking about the law that would free slaves, and that a lot of them wanted to delay it, but Khun Bunlue was opposed to the idea. His superior also agrees. His superior seemed to believe every word that Khun Bunlue says, to be honest. Then his superior called him to talk outside. He talked about his negotiations with the French, because they wanted to take basically most of Laos and northern Cambodia after a war. Yeah, that's what happened. In real history, there was a war in 1893. Siam lost, and some would say pretty badly. Now let's get back to the story. After that, his superior said that he would have to negotiate with the French for like the entirety of a month. So he tasked him to go to Chiang Rai to do business for him. The scene then cuts to him stopping a rickshaw at town. If you know what a rickshaw is, Google human-drawn carriage. Then cuts to Khun Bunlue home. To introduce the servant, probably mentioned in a Netflix description. This part I got wrong. Yay. The scene then cuts back to Khun Bunlue buying a gold bracelet for someone, and after that he returned to rickshaw. One of the drawers said that Khun Bunlue has a car, why not use it? To which Khun Bunlue asked, how hard can it be to draw a rickshaw? He then proceeds to draw a rickshaw back to his home. And it's funny as fuck, to be honest. The original drawer said that Khun Bunlue was a dumbass after he left, which he is, to be honest. Next, in the home, Khun Bunlue is shown with a photo with a fellow officer and another woman that was sent from Chiang Rai. His mother suspects the woman to be Khun Bunlue's love. Next, he is loved to be hitting on the servant, the one that threw the carriage. Yay. And I think in the story, after I look all of it, the woman wasn't his love. Yeah, it wasn't. She wasn't, sorry. Khun Bunlue then feeds his dog, Silver, and his water monitor. You know what a water monitor is? I think you should look it up. Named Cody. If you don't know, the name of water monitor in Thai is the source of the most used insults in Thai. Yeah, that word. It cuts to nighttime, where Khun Bunlue is seen listening to a rap song, and at the end, he said to the singer, "Your father is dead." It's a joke in that the actor that sang the song is his son. Get it? It's entire is basically a bad thing to say your father is dead. If you understand that. Next, Khun Bunlue talks to her servant that her husband ran away, and to accept it, she told that her husband ran away to a mistress in Chiang Rai, and that Tenginong told her. Tenginong are comedian partners of Mom, and I laughed so hard because the actor that played the servant is Mom's wife. Khun Bunlue is also shown to have a gold bracelet from a scene earlier, probably to give to the servant he's sitting on, which is the younger one, which is the daughter of the mistress I mentioned above. In the story, I never got what their name are somehow. Okay, let's move on. Next, Khun Bunlue is visited by another officer with his children, one son and daughter. Their names are Tara and Taran. Tara is the son and Taran is the daughter. And the officer asks Khun Bunlue to take care of them because he is going to visit Europe to bring back horses to sell for profit. Tara seems to be hitting on the servant. The same one I thought, the same person, Khun Bunlue. I thought Khun Bunlue was hitting on. After that, a doctor visited Khun Bunlue and seems to have hit on the same servant. Then Khun Bunlue invites the officer and his children to visit his servants/slaves market, where he basically had them to sell food enough to pay their debt bondage. Tara proceeds to flirt with that servant, which takes photos. Then Khun Bunlue eats food with Tara and their father, where the male servant sings a song about how Khun Bunlue might have a jug itch. In the story, it was true. Very funny, to be honest. Tara, and their father mocked Khun Bunlue. The male servant brought him cooked dog meat, I think, and Tara's father ate it and acted like a dog after their meal. Then, after a couple of scenes, Khun Bunlue starts his car and goes to Chiang Rai, where the driver can't start the car, and Khun Bunlue proceeds to tell his slaves to push the car, and the driver successfully started. It cuts to the doctor leaving, where he rides his bike and hits the slave every man apparently loves. Next time teaches English to slaves. With Plan, the slave that is played by Mom's Jokmok's sons, he was able to answer all the questions. But after that, everyone else just said that they might just as well have a one-on-one session. Next scene, Khun Bunlue's mother fucked the slave that drew the carriage. Then Khun Bunlue meets his superior and talked about his business in Chiang Rai. Where Khun Bunlue comes back to his home, he wondered where is his dog. It was probably eaten. I was wrong on that part, but yeah. The slave responsible for raising him said that the dog went to other houses to meet the other female dogs. Yeah, that was true. Next, one of Khun Bunlue's slaves found the bracelet, and he brought to give to a female slave. Every person in the story is hitting on. That was what I assumed, which was wrong after the story. Let's just say that slave found Khun Bunlue by accident. The next scene wasn't able to catch him. Khun Bunlue seemed to be with a northern woman. Next, the southern officer visited Khun Bunlue and they drank alcohol that night. The officer eating Khun Bunlue's meat, which I presume to be water martyr meat, he got drunk and acted like one, which I got wrong too. That's what happened when I don't watch the whole film and summarize it. But I think this is a better way of summarizing the story. Next, Khun Bunlue is in a meeting, discuss electrification of Bangkok, where an officer argued that they should electrify both the western side and the eastern side. Khun Bunlue disagreed because there are no bridges to cross the Chao Phraya, the river that cut through Bangkok, because they were going to electrify only the eastern side. Next, Khun Bunlue wonders where his friend went, both of them. I thought they were eaten, which I was wrong. Next scene is Khun Bunlue bringing the northern woman to the market, with the same slave, plus another one looking at him. The slave tells Khun Bunlue's mother about the woman. The officer who disagreed with Khun Bunlue, which I have learned his name is Wongcharoen, met Khun Bunlue to lobby him to tell the supervisor to build an electrical plant in Thonburi that was inside Bangkok. Khun Bunlue denied to cooperate with him. Now we have a break, so we can get money. So, go to break outro, I guess. Back, let's continue. The doctor and Tara talk to the female slave and asked her to join them in the Wongcharoen festival. Tara tried to throw the doctor by telling him the wrong time. After he left, the doctor said to himself, "You think that I'm that stupid?" So I'm gonna explain what Wongcharoen is. So Wongcharoen is a festival where you place gatong, which is decorated banana stem with incense sticks and a candle. It is that and also you put a lot of flowers and decorate it. Some places use coconut shell, and some places just I'm not sure, but like some places they use just candles or something. I'm not sure, but it's the main part is to float these gatongs into the river, which is said to be in honor of the Hindu gods of rivers, Ganga, which in Thai is also the name of the Ganges River. And another interpretation of this festival is to bring bad things away. Thais believe that water will flow to the sea, so basically, and the sea is like never ending or something like that. So flowing something into the river will be flowing bad things to the river will be floating in a way not to be seen forever. Then it cuts to Wongcharoen telling slaves to get rid of Khun Bunlue. What I mean is that kill him. Yeah. Next, Khun Bunlue and his family visits the Wongcharoen festival. Khun Bunlue separates from his family to see his superior. After that, it's a joke I can't stop laughing. Khun Bunlue sees one of his servants, and he has a wound. So he asks what happened, and the slave just replied with, "A wasp stung me." Then Khun Bunlue asked when. He replied with, "It just stung me." But in this context, in Thai, "pung," which means something like just, shares the same sound with the word for bee, "pung," but it is spelled different. So Khun Bunlue asked, "So a wasp or a bee stung you?" Then repeat this like twice. Trust me, it's funny if you know Thai. If you don't know, it won't be that funny. That's the problem with comedy in general. It can't work across languages. Let's continue. Khun Bunlue's mom, which is with the slave she fucked, they proceed to place their gatong in the river together. Next, Tara and the doctor came to the dock to place their gatongs with the female slave at the same time. After they're done placing their gatongs, the two men follow the slave and proceed to be matched each other. They really seem to love this servant. Plan asked Tyrion about her wishes. She seemed shy and didn't answer. Khun Bunlue visited a store with a northern woman. Insert an assassination attempt here. It failed. The man ran. Tyrion teaches Plan how to play croquet. Is that how you pronounce it? I had to search for like British game about hitting ball through rings or something. Finally, it's called croquet. And after it just said, this is called croquet. Like, just seconds later, when I was writing the script. Oh, I think let's continue. So, Tyrion almost hit a drunk man after he tried to attack her in Plan. Seemed reasonable. They were going to attack him. Khun Bunlue sees it and proceeds to punish Tyrion, but Plan stepped in and stopped him. Khun Bunlue stands down. Wongcharoen got mad with with the men failing to kill Khun Bunlue. There's a joke here where the Luong said that if they can't do a simple job, what would they do in life? And one of the men said he'd sell coconut milk custard. It's a Thai snack. I forgot the Thai name, but like it's very good. I laughed at that part for like a minute or so. Pretty funny. Next, Khun Bunlue buys some stuff with the northern woman, and she got kidnapped by Wongcharoen's man. We learned that the woman's name is Gao. Khun Bunlue follow her. The same slave saw it again. She followed Khun Bunlue. Khun Bunlue found Gao and he fought off some men, with a slave finding him and brought Gao back. One of the men knocked Khun Bunlue out, then threw him in the river, in some kind of body of water in the next scene. Next, we learn that Khun Bunlue's pets were with their mate in the storage room. So that slave's assessment was correct, and that I was wrong until I found this part. Yay, I guess. They're dead. Well, one of the dogs found the dog that Khun Bunlue got tossed in, and then Khun Bunlue miraculously survives and risen up from the water with the help of his water mother and their mate. Without them, he'd be dead by now. Now, it cuts to Khun Bunlue's mother in Khun Bunlue's superior's home. I know that's confusing, but probably the graphic team who make a graph or something to understand about this. So it cuts to Khun Bunlue's mother in Khun Bunlue's superior's home to leave Gao their way. They learn that Gao is not Khun Bunlue's partner. Khun Bunlue came and apologized to his superior. Khun Bunlue punished that slave by hitting them with a cane 30 times, where a family asked to spread it around. He then hit them 10 times each. Plan and that slave and her mother are 3 people, so 10. Yeah. When he handed the cane back, he found his mother's ring in the hand of that slave that drew the rickshaw, and hit him until his mother realized that she fucked him, and gave him the ring. Yay. The doctor, Tara cleans the wound of the slave family, and Tara cleans Plan's wound. Khun Bunlue tells his superior about Wongcharoen's plans and action. His superior told to Wongcharoen that he needs to stop, or else he will stop himself, which he stopped. Next, Khun Bunlue gave money to the slaves and freed them, but he has to stay like the American South, like slaves in the American South, where after it's a war because they didn't know anything, they didn't leave. Kind of like that, but they know everything, but they just got nowhere to go. And Khun Bunlue let them still stay in his household. The story clear that Khun Bunlue actually loved the female slave. The one that I later learned that was his wife playing it, not the daughter. I got it wrong, the whole story. Now Doctor and Tara marry the new free slave together. Let's just say it's weird. 3 two two male partner and one female partner. It seems weird because we think of relationships as two people. Probably that's why. Now Longsor shot Khun Bunlue was missed and got enslaved through the carriage. The film ended with the guy that got shot shooting a photo and falls before it finishes. Now story is done. We have a break. Again. Now roll the outro. Now we're back and welcome to our last section. Cope's start on the film. I think that this film is a good film. It's funny and romantic. I think they used the cast effectively. They had like 4 famous Thai comedians in the film. They used them to great effect. Their gags seem natural and it's funny. I think they got it right in the comedy department. I think there was some kind of philosophy behind this film. It is probably that a philosophy is probably that love is something not bound by social classes. It showed that love between a master and a slave is a normal and natural thing, not something that doesn't happen. And probably the other philosophical theme is that good people will always be on top, seeing as the good guys win at everything. The editing of this film is good, it is seamless, and there are no weird cuts. It is good in general. Now let's move on to my critiques. In the trailer, the main component, and they emphasize that Khun Bunlue went to Chiang Rai, and with some kind of business to do, but it's barely in the film, and it seemed that they might have cut it out or something. It really weirded me that there's almost no mention of Chiang Rai anywhere in the film. At the end of the story, I still don't know what Khun Bunlue did in Chiang Rai. It's probably me being a bad watcher or something. I don't know. Now let's move on to my final thoughts. I think that Khun Bunlue is a good film. They got comedy right. They didn't let Mom Jokmo's name down. Mom's film are known for her being funny and goofy, but they didn't use the Chiang Rai part of the story as well as they can. But overall, the film is great, and my score for it will be 4 out of 5. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Cope's Movienight. Hope that you join us next time. Good night, everyone. For the outro.